A pleasant day everyone. So my name is jonesmejia and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we were going to tackle about the quantitative models for decision making. So decision making process through a logical one is a difficult task. All decisions can be categorized into the following three basic models. So the first is rational or classical model. Second is the administrative or bounded rationality model, and last is the retrospective decision making model. So all models are beneficial for understanding the nature of decision making processes in enterprises or organizations. So all models are based on the certain assumptions on which the decisions are taken. So the first basic decision of model is rational or classical model. So the rational model is the first attempt to know the decision making processes. It is considered by some as the classical approach to understand the decision making process. So there are six features of classical model. So first, problems are clear. Second, objectives are clear. Third, people agree on criteria and weight. Fourth, alternatives are known. Last one, decisions makes are rational. So what things do we have to do when it comes to making decisions? So first is don't bias in recognizing problems. Second, be capable of processing all relevant information. Be anticipate present and future consequences of decision. Search for all alternatives that maximize the desired result. So second alternative quantitative models for decision making is bounded rationality model or administrative man model. So decision making involves the achievement of a goal. Rationality demands that decision makers should properly understand the alternative courses of action for reaching the goals. He or she should also have full information and the ability to analyze properly various alternative courses of action in the light of goals solved. So there should also be a desire to select the best solutions by selecting the alternative which will satisfy the goal achievement. So A, sequential attention to alternative solution. So advertisement. Normally it is the tendency for people to examine possible solutions one at a time instead of identifying all possible solutions and stop searching once unacceptable, though not necessarily the best. So solution is found. So B, heuristic. So these are the assumptions that guide the search for alternatives into areas that have a high probability or yielding success. Satisfaction, satisficing. So Herbert Simon called this satisficing. This is picking a course of action that is satisfactory or good enough under the circumstances. No, it is the tendency for decision makers to accept the first alternatives that meets their minimally acceptable requirements rather than pushing them further for an alternative that produces the best result. So satisficing is preferred for decision of small significance when time is major constraint or where most of the alternatives are essentially similar. So the last one of quantitative models is retrospective decision model. So implicit favorite model. So, the decision-making model focuses on how decision makers attempt to rationalize their choices after they have been made and try to justify their decision. So the model has been developed by Per Solberg, according to Google. So he made an observation regarding the choice, choice processes of graduating business student and noted that in many cases, the student identified implicit favorites. So very early in the recruiting and choices process. So however, students continued their searches for additional alternatives and quickly selected the best alternative. So the total process is designed to justify through the guise of scientific rigor a decision that has already been made intrinsically. By this means, the individual becomes convinced that he or she is acting rationally and taking a logical, reasoned decision of an important topic. So, some common errors in decision making. So, since the importance of the right decision cannot be overestimated enough for the quality of the decision can make the difference between success and failure. So therefore, it is imperative that all factors affecting the decision be properly looked into the fully investigated. So in addition, the technical and operational factors which can be qualified and analyzed. So other factors such as personal values, personality traits, psychological assessment, perception of the environment, into intuitional and judgmental capabilities, and emotional interference must also be understood and credited. So some researchers have opinion have pinpointed rather certain areas where managerial thinking needs to be reassessed and where some common mistakes are made. These affect the decision making process as well as the efficiency of the decision and must be avoided. So very often we take it for granted that the other person's opinion is very reliable and trustworthy, and we do not check for the accuracy of the information ourselves. So many times, the opinion of the other person is taken. So that if the decision fails to bring the desired result, the blame for the failure can be shifted to the person who had provided the information. So, however, this is a poor reflection on the manager's ability and integrity, and the manager must be held responsible for the outcome of the decision. So that's all for today, and have a nice day. Good luck. Bye.